Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our English Conversation podcast. I'm Riley.
And I'm Alex. Today's episode is going to be a little different, a little deeper, and maybe even a little emotional.
Yes, today we are talking about something that every human being experiences, something powerful, something invisible, but something that can completely change your life.
We are talking about the power of positivity.
But before we begin, I want to ask all of our listeners a question.
Yes, and if you are listening right now, maybe walking, maybe studying, maybe relaxing, just think about this question for a moment.
Have you ever had a day where everything felt heavy?
A day where your mind felt tired, even though the day had just started.
Maybe you woke up in the morning and something already felt wrong.
Maybe you looked at your phone and saw a message that worried you.
Maybe someone said something that hurt you.
Or maybe nothing bad happened, but inside you still felt sad.
Have you ever felt like that?
Think about it for a moment.
Because the truth is, almost everyone has days like that.
Even the happiest people.
Even the strongest people.
Even people who seem confident and successful.
And today, we want to explore something interesting.
Why do some people stay positive even when life becomes difficult?
Why do some people keep moving forward even after failure?
Why do some people smile even during hard times?
Is it luck?
Is it talent?
Or is it something else?
Something deeper.
Something happening inside the mind.
Today we are going to explore that together.
But Alex, let me ask you something honestly.
Go ahead.
Have you ever had a moment in your life when you felt completely lost?
Oh yes, many times.
Really?
Yes, and I think that's something people don't talk about enough.
Tell us more.
Well, I remember a time a few years ago. I was sitting in my small apartment late at night. It was quiet, too quiet.
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about my future.
That sounds familiar to many people listening right now.
Exactly. I was asking myself questions like, what am I doing with my life?
That is a big question.
Yes, and sometimes big questions can feel very heavy.
Did you feel afraid?
A little. Actually, more than a little.
Why?
Because I felt like everyone else was moving forward in life and I was standing still.
Have any of our listeners felt that way before?
Maybe you are feeling that way right now.
Maybe you look at other people's success and wonder,
Why not me?
why is my progress so slow?
Am I doing something wrong?
Those thoughts can be very powerful.
Yes, but they can also be dangerous.
Dangerous?
Yes, because if we repeat negative thoughts again and again, our mind begins to believe them.
That's a powerful idea.
Think about this, listeners.
Your brain is always listening to you.
Every thought you repeat becomes stronger.
If you tell yourself, I am not good enough.
Your brain slowly believes it.
If you tell yourself, I will fail.
Your brain prepares for failure.
But what happens if you tell yourself something different?
Something hopeful.
Something positive?
Something like, I am still learning.
Or my future can be better?
Or even something simple like, I will not give up.
That small sentence can change everything.
But here's an interesting question for our listeners.
Yes. Think carefully about this one.
Where do our thoughts come from?
Do we control them?
Or do they control us?
That question might sound simple, but the answer can change your entire life.
Because the truth is, most people never question their thoughts.
They simply believe everything their mind says.
Even when those thoughts are negative.
Even when those thoughts are unfair.
Even when those thoughts are completely wrong.
But imagine something for a moment.
Imagine you could train your mind.
Just like athletes train their bodies.
Imagine you could teach your brain to search for hope.
To search for opportunities.
To search for possibilities.
How different would your life become?
Think about that for a moment.
What would change?
Would you try more things?
Would you take more chances?
Would you believe in yourself a little more?
Maybe the biggest difference would be this.
You would stop giving up so quickly.
And that might be one of the most important skills in life.
The ability to keep going.
Even when things feel difficult.
Even when progress is slow.
Even when nobody else believes in you.
But Riley, let me ask you something.
Sure.
How do you think positivity means pretending everything is perfect?
That's a great question.
Many people think positivity means ignoring problems,
Or pretending that nothing hurts.
but that's not real positivity.
Real positivity is something deeper,
It means seeing the problem clearly.
but still believing that things can improve,
It means feeling pain.
but refusing to lose hope.
And that kind of positivity is incredibly powerful.
Because it changes the way we face challenges.
Instead of saying, this is impossible,
We start asking, what can I learn from this?
instead of saying, I failed,
We say, this is part of my journey,
and suddenly failure becomes a teacher.
not an enemy.
But here's something interesting, listeners.
Most people never discover this power
Why?
because they stop trying too soon.
They face one failure,
Maybe 2 failures.
maybe 3.
And then they quietly decide,
This is not for me.
but what if success was just one step away?
What if the next attempt would have changed everything?
How many dreams disappear simply because people stop too early?
That is a powerful question.
And maybe a difficult one.
But that leads us to something important.
Your future is not decided by one moment.
Your future is decided by many small choices.
The choice to try again.
The choice to learn.
The choice to stay positive even when things feel uncertain.
And that choice can slowly transform your life.
Before we continue, let's pause for a moment.
Yes, just a small pause.
If you're listening right now, wherever you are, take a slow breath
Inhale slowly.
and exhale slowly.
Sometimes the world moves very fast,
Too fast.
and our thoughts become loud.
Very loud.
But the truth is, some of the most important changes in life begin in quiet moments.
Moments when we stop running.
Moments when we finally listen to our thoughts.
Alex, do you remember the first time you realized how powerful your thoughts were?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about it.
It happened during a very difficult time in my life.
What was happening?
I had been working very hard on something I believed in deeply.
What was it?
A project, something I wanted to build for years.
And what happened?
It failed.
Completely?
Yes, completely.
That must have been painful.
It was more than painful. It was confusing.
Why confusing?
Because I had worked so hard.
You expected success.
Exactly. I thought effort always leads to success.
But sometimes life doesn't follow our expectations.
Yes, and when the project failed, something strange happened.
What happened?
My mind started attacking me.
Attacking you?
Yes, with thoughts.
What kind of thoughts?
Thoughts like, you are not talented enough.
That sounds harsh.
Very harsh.
What else?
You wasted your time.
That must have hurt.
And the worst one.
What was it?
You should stop trying.
Wow.
Yes, that thought stayed in my mind for days.
Did you believe it?
At first, yes.
I think many listeners understand that feeling.
Exactly. When we fail, our mind often becomes our biggest enemy.
But something changed for you, right?
Yes, something small but powerful.
What was it?
One evening, I was walking outside. It was late.
Was the city quiet?
Very quiet.
And what were you thinking about?
I was thinking about giving up.
Really?
Yes, I was ready to stop trying.
What changed your mind?
I saw something simple.
What did you see?
A small plant growing between 2 pieces of concrete.
A plant.
Yes.
That sounds ordinary.
At first it did, but then I looked closer.
What did you notice?
The plant had almost no space to grow.
The concrete was blocking it.
Exactly. The conditions were terrible.
Yet it was still growing.
Yes.
That's powerful.
In that moment, I asked myself a question.
What question?
If this tiny plant refuses to give up, why should I?
That's a beautiful question.
It changed something in my mind.
Did all your negative thoughts disappear?
No, not immediately.
So what changed?
I realized something important.
What did you realize?
Failure does not mean the end.
It can mean the beginning.
Exactly.
Listeners, think about that for a moment.
Yes, really think about it.
What if failure is not a wall?
What if it's a door?
A door to learning.
A door to growth.
A door to strength.
But many people never open that door.
Why?
Because fear stops them.
Fear of looking foolish.
Fear of failing again.
Fear of disappointment.
But here's a powerful truth.
Tell us.
Every successful person you admire has failed many times.
More times than you imagine.
And the difference between success and failure is often very simple.
What is it?
Persistence.
The ability to keep going.
Even when things feel uncertain.
Even when progress is slow.
Even when the world doubts you.
Let me ask our listeners something.
Yes, this is an important question.
Think about a dream you once had.
Maybe a dream you still have.
What was it?
Was it starting a business?
Learning a new language?
Moving to a new country?
Writing a book?
Becoming healthier?
Now ask yourself something honestly.
Did you stop chasing that dream?
And if you did, why?
Was it because you truly didn't want it anymore?
Or was it because something scared you?
Failure?
Judgment?
Doubt?
These questions are important.
Because sometimes the only thing standing between us and our dreams,
Is our own thinking.
and that's where positivity becomes powerful.
Not fake positivity,
Not pretending everything is perfect.
but real positivity.
The kind that says,
This is difficult.
but I can still grow.
This hurts.
But I will learn.
This is slow.
But I will keep moving.
Those thoughts are powerful seeds.
And when you plant them in your mind,
Your life slowly begins to change.
but here is something interesting.
Many people want positive results,
But they do not want to practice positive thinking.
and the two are connected.
Very connected.
Your thoughts shape your actions.
Your actions shape your habits.
Your habits shape your future.
So the real question becomes, what thoughts are you feeding your mind every day?
Are they hopeful?
Or hopeless?
Are they encouraging?
Or discouraging?
Because the mind is like a garden.
Whatever you plant will grow.
If you plant doubt, doubt will grow.
If you plant fear, fear will grow.
But if you plant courage, courage will grow.
And if you plant positivity, possibility will grow.
That might be one of the most important lessons in life.
But the story doesn't end there.
Because something surprising happened later.
Something unexpected.
Something that completely changed how I understand positivity.
And when that moment happened,
I realized something shocking.
what was it?
Positivity is not just about thinking differently.
It's about seeing the world differently.
And in the next part,
We're going to share the moment that revealed that truth.
a moment that might change the way you see your own life.
So stay with us.
Because the most powerful part of this story.
Is just beginning.
Before we finish today's episode, let's talk about something very important.
Yes, something simple but extremely powerful.
A choice.
Not a big choice,
Not a life-changing decision.
but a small daily choice.
The choice of how you speak to yourself.
Many people don't realize how powerful that is.
But the voice inside your mind is always talking.
All day.
Every day.
Sometimes it encourages you.
Sometimes it criticizes you.
Sometimes it reminds you of your strength.
And sometimes it reminds you of your mistakes.
So here is an important question for everyone listening.
If your mind speaks to you all day,
What kind of voice do you want it to be?
a voice that pushes you down?
Or a voice that lifts you up?
Because the truth is,
You can slowly train that voice.
not in one day,
Not in 1 week.
but little by little.
By changing the words you repeat to yourself.
For example, instead of saying,
I can't do this.
try saying,
I am still learning.
instead of saying,
I always fail.
try saying.
I am improving every day.
These small changes might sound simple,
But they change your mindset.
and mindset changes actions,
Actions change habits.
and habits slowly change your future.
Now let's ask our listeners something.
Yes, this is a powerful reflection.
Think about your life right now.
Where are you today?
Maybe you are learning English.
Maybe you are building a career,
Maybe you are trying to improve yourself.
and maybe the journey feels slow.
Maybe progress feels difficult.
But here's something we want you to remember.
Growth is often invisible in the beginning.
Just like a seed under the soil.
You cannot see the roots growing.
But they are growing.
And one day,
The plant breaks through the surface.
and suddenly everyone can see it.
But the real growth happened earlier.
Quietly,
slowly.
patiently.
And that is how positivity works too.
It starts quietly inside your mind.
One thought,
One belief.
one decision to keep going.
And over time, that decision becomes strength.
Now, before we end today's episode, we want to ask you something.
Yes, something very important.
Did you enjoy this conversation?
Did it make you think about your own mindset?
Did it help you practice English while learning something meaningful?
If the answer is yes,
Then we have a small favor to ask.
and it will help this channel grow.
You see, creating long conversations like this takes a lot of time,
A lot of thinking.
a lot of effort.
But we do it because we believe in something.
We believe learning English should also inspire people,
It should motivate people.
and it should help people grow.
So if you want to support this channel, here are 3 very simple things you can do.
First,
Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
when you subscribe, you tell the platform something important.
You tell it that this content is valuable.
And when more people subscribe,
The platform starts showing the videos to more learners around the world.
second,
If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like.
it might seem like a small click.
But it actually helps the video reach thousands of new listeners.
And third,
Share this podcast with someone who might need it.
maybe a friend learning English.
Maybe someone who feels discouraged.
Maybe someone who needs a little positivity today.
Because when you share knowledge,
You help someone grow.
and that is one of the most powerful things we can do.
Also, we would love to hear from you.
Yes, tell us in the comments.
What is one positive thought you want to start repeating in your mind?
Maybe something like, I will keep improving.
Or
My future can be better.
even something simple like,
I will not give up.
write it down in the comments.
Because when you write your thoughts,
They become stronger.
and who knows?
Your comment might inspire someone else reading it.
And before we say goodbye,
Let's leave our listeners with one final question.
a question to think about tonight,
Or tomorrow morning.
or whenever life feels difficult.
Here it is.
If one small positive thought could change the direction of your life,
What thought would you choose?
think about that
Hold on to it,
and start repeating it,
because your future is built.
one thought at a time.
Thank you so much for listening.
We truly appreciate every one of you.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Until then,
Stay curious
stay positive.
and keep learning.
Goodbye, everyone.